see you this morning. Thank you guys so much for being on. I don't know if y'all know this or not. It's like 2 weeks from Christmas. Okay. My son reminds me every single day and has for the last 45 days exactly how many days it is. He asks Alexa every morning at breakfast how many hours it is. Okay, this brother has it dialed in. Okay. And I'm super thankful. I see my cousin on again this morning, Sherry. She got the Grinch over there in her seat. I don't know if y'all see that or not. Come on now. Come on now. Excuse me. The Grinch. There we go. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Hey, first things first, I got to tell you guys this. So I had a birthday a little bit ago, and I turned 30. I don't know if y'all know that or not. But back here behind me, y'all see my new backdrop? Look at that. Y'all see that? Let me get out of the way there. See that? Mama and the kids had a custom picture made for me. Okay, this is so cool. All right. It's got our initials on the fence post. You probably can't see that. And then it's got the DO coach over here. And then look right up there at the top. I don't know if you can read it, but it says, you make the choice and the choice makes you. That's what we taught our kids from day one. Okay, so that's your affirmation for today. Okay, my kids say this each and every single day. They say, I choose to make good choices today because the choices I make me. Come on, write that down. I choose to make good choices today because the choices I make me. You and I get to choose and define our own lives. Yes, that's what all of this is about each and every single week. And what we're talking about today, I played the song that I played intentionally, okay? Because you, each and every single one of you on the screen, there's a way that you view yourself. And what we're talking about today is how you view yourself. The limiting beliefs that you've put on yourself, or maybe other people have put on you, or maybe circumstances have put on you. And if you don't hear anything else today, I want you to hear this, okay? Scripture tells me, and I want to remind you, I'm not putting it on you, I'm just telling you what it says, and the principles will go for every one of you. Scripture tells me that I am more than a conqueror. It doesn't say that I'm a conqueror like you can't. No, it says you're more than that. You're bigger than that. And that's where we're starting off today, okay? So as we get started today, let me hear something good from somebody. What's a win you had this week? What's something you're thankful for? We're going to do our journals here in just a minute. Anybody got a win they want to share this week? We can celebrate with you. Anybody? Anybody?
Hey, good morning.
David Fine, go for it. And then Loretta, I'm coming to you. David, go for it, sir.
Dusty, I'm really happy to be here. It's been a tough year. A lot of things going on in my life and my family's life and business. But 5 days ago, I had major abdominal surgery, and I'm still hurting pretty bad. But I have to be here with you because you just don't define me, but you refine me. And I know I've been through so much in my life. I'm 72 years old, and I want you young people to know that whatever you're going through, you will get through it. And I can't wait for 2024 for healing physically, mentally, and spiritually. And I thank you, Dusty, for having me here this morning.
Come on, man. David Fine. Man, that made my whole day. Did you guys hear that? Refine. How many of us are being refined today, right? Right? We're defining and we're refining. That's what this call is all about. David, it's in your name, brother.
I'm fine all the time.
It's in your name. Come on now. All right, Loretta, where you at? Let's hear from you this morning.
Hey, Dusty, good morning. Doing great. Had a great weekend. My husband and I had a black tie event that his organization has every year. And so we were there, got to just meet a lot of wonderful people and establish new relationships. And so just having a great time, just being with my spouse and just having a great date night for the whole weekend. So it was a great win just for spending time together and just meeting new friends.
I love it. I love it, Loretta. That's awesome. Hey, everybody write it down. If you're married, in a relationship, or ever want to be in one, date night is non-negotiable. You hear me? It's non-negotiable. Okay, me and Mama, we're going on date night every single week. Our kids can scream, cry, yell. We going. Okay, non-negotiable. Rhett, let's hear from you, buddy. What do you got this morning?
Hey, good morning, everybody. First and foremost, it was my birthday Saturday. It went really well. Appreciate all the great wishes. And me and Dusty's discussed this. It has been a rough year, obviously, and I had to work a lot harder. My GCI this year was over what it was last year. My net was over what it was last year, and the net goal that I was going to set for next year, I actually exceeded this year when I ran my numbers all the way out, which blew my mind. Not only that, but when I was setting my goal for next year, Dusty stopped, like our whole call stopped, and he looked at me and he said, "You got more in you." So I am going to set it higher for next year. And David, I just want you to know, brother, you inspired me a second ago, and I'll definitely be praying. I wish you all the best. Thanks, Dusty.
Come on. You're welcome, brother. I love you, man. Come on. Come on. Two more. Curtis, go for it, sir.
Hey, Dustin. Yes, I am grateful this morning for being able to just be on here. And we had a wonderful weekend. And also, I want to give a big shout out to, I see my accountability partner is on here, Christopher Baker, wishing him a happy birthday. He just joined the 30 club too. So, but yeah, we had a spectacular event over this weekend. Yeah, we had about 60 people came out to our office where you visited a couple of weeks ago, and it was great having you out with us. So yeah, so we're just glad to be here.
I love it. I love it. Good morning. Hey, Christopher, it feels good to be 30, doesn't it? Come on now. Feels good, doesn't it? One more, Catherine, what do you got?
Yeah, I totally personally have got a phone call at 6:30 on Sunday morning from my granddaughter so that we could make pancakes together and eat breakfast. And she lives in Boston and I live in Florida, and it's just that love is enough to push you through forever.
It is, man. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Cool is that? Hey, yeah, now that we have Zoom, right? I don't know about y'all. I was never even on Zoom till the pandemic hit, and look at the blessing that it brought. You can have breakfast with your grandkids halfway across the country. That's super cool. Thank you for sharing, Catherine. That's awesome. Very, very cool. All right. Well, hey, we're going to dig in today, and here is what we're talking about today, team. And that is, right, why we started this entire call. And it's for you to live the life that you desire, for you to live the life that you define. I love how David Fine said it this morning, that it's a redefining. Part of what we're talking about today is exactly that. A lot of us on this call today need a redefine of our mind, a redefine of our heart, a redefine of our body and our spirit and our relationships, a redefining so that we can define what does 2024 look like. What are the defined actions in order for us to take, right? And then how many of you maybe are holding back because of limiting beliefs that you have? I love that Rhett mentioned what happened on our coaching call this week, because he put a number out there, and I said, hey, brother, I believe in you, and I think we're low. And I think Rhett would agree. He had a little bit of a limiting belief thinking about the market that we're in or what could happen. And man, I was so proud of him because he immediately stepped right into that. Here's what I can tell you. I'm going to believe in your greatness, even if you're taking a stand for your limitations. All right. I'm going to keep believing in it. I'm not going to stop believing in it, because I know that there's way more for you. I know that you are more capable than you even think about. Okay. And one of my mentors says this too about limiting beliefs. He says, if you take a stand for your limitations, you will win every single time. And it's a terrible win. I'm going to say that to you again. If you take a stand for your limitations, you will win every single time. And it's a terrible win. What we're going to talk about today is not you taking a stand for your limitations, but you taking a stand for your greatness. All right. We're going to dive right into it today, because we're actually going to journal at the end today, and you'll see why here in a little bit. But that's what we're talking about today, is those limiting beliefs that hold us back, those limiting beliefs that you say, hey, I'm going to go do this, or I'm going to go do that. This is my goal. This is where I'm going. And then it's all of a sudden that little voice in the back of your head that says, no, you're not. What are you talking about, bro? Like, you ain't got it in you to do that. Okay. It's that little voice in the back of your head that says, nobody in your family's ever accomplished that before. What makes you think you're going to be the first one? You don't have the talent to do that. You don't have the education to do that. You don't have the means to do that, right? Now, here's what I'll tell you. We don't put those little thoughts out on Facebook. We put the big thoughts out. We're like, woo, 2024, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to accomplish. We don't put on there, except for that little voice in the back of my head that tells me that I can't. You don't put that on there. You just put the big one out there. But it's that little voice that starts to erode your dreams and erode your goals and erode what it is that you have in this life and all the blessing that's out there for you. So I'm going to play a video for you this morning. How many of you have listened to Ed Milet? If you don't, go do it. Okay. That guy has an incredible outlook. And I'm going to play a couple of them actually for you today, but this is the first one. Okay. I want you to listen to what he says, write down your thoughts, because today is all about you reframing and redefining the way that you think. The very first call we ever had together, I said this, and I believe it with everything inside of me. You are where you are because of how you think. Okay. You are where you are because of how you think. So the great news I have for you today is this. If you don't like where you are, or you don't like where you're going, you get to rethink. You get to redefine. You get to readjust so that you can get where it is that you desire to go today, okay? So I'm going to play it for you this morning. Take notes, listen. We're going to circle right back up and dig right in, okay? Here we go. Let's make sure I pick the right one. There we go. Well done. Here we go.
I don't quit. I'm resilient. I own the #1 skill, the #1 talent required to eventually win. I already have. I can't quit. You'd have to kill me to get me out of chasing my dream, right? So #1, I want to point it out as the #1 gift. The best ability is availability. Do you have it? Have you decided to have it? Is it something you're going to possess the rest of your life? And those of you that do have it already, I need you to take an inventory, be aware of it, and be intentional with crediting yourself as you're listening to this or watching it today into the bank of your self-confidence, into the bank, into the deposits you make in your identity, because it has everything to do with winning. Every guest you've seen on my show, all the people that I've coached, all have different talent, skills, and abilities. What's the one they all have? The ability to stay present, the ability to stay in the fight, to have not quit. You'd think, well, that's not a big deal. Really? Because as I've been talking, millions of people made the decision to quit on their dream, just as I've been talking to you. The rest of the day, millions more will. Tomorrow, millions more. Every day, literally millions of people quit on one of their dreams, their dream relationship, their dream business, their dream body. So quitting has become the #1 habit in the world by people that end up losing. And I'm telling you, it happens every day, every second, everywhere. Just the fact that while I've been speaking, you're still after your dream, you're ahead of them. You don't give yourself enough credit, because eventually what I found, it looks like winning's this huge competition, but every day, every week, every year, every decade as time goes by, you're going to find that you're competing with a smaller and smaller and smaller group of people for your dream, because so many of them will just quit. And by the way, many of them that quit will possess talents, maybe even gifts you don't have. Their incredible ability with people, their incredible strength, their incredible brain, and they'll quit with all this giftedness, but you got the talent. You have to learn to distinguish between something that is a talent and a gift. You can develop skills, you can develop talents. Gifts are something you're born with, but the people that I see that win long term are the ones who develop the talents and skills required to win. You know what I had? I had the ability to keep hitting the piñata in my life, to stick around long enough. And by the way, when you eventually win, it's not just you that gets all the candy, that gets all the victory, that gets all the money. Lots of people around you, many of which who you were hurting originally with that bat, many of them who were trying to talk you out of it, they get to celebrate in the candy too. My prayer for you is that you begin to think about this analogy. The piñata of your life, the piñata of your business, the piñata of your body. As you're swinging away, I'm here to tell you, even though it doesn't feel like it, you're getting closer to the candy. And if you can add more people to celebrate, it's okay that you feel disoriented. It's okay that it feels blinding and you don't know exactly what direction to go. Just like these precious babies with the piñata. It's okay that you miss it once in a while. It's okay that you get tired once in a while. But as long as you keep after it and you keep pounding away that compound effort of your pounding, I can promise you there's candy someday. And everybody around you will jump on it and celebrate. That's my wish for you. Today, as you listen to me, of all the skills I'm going to teach you, that I've taught you, and if you've not listened to my other shows, I teach you about listening, transfer energy, how to close, how to change your identity, how to live blissfully dissatisfied, how to unlock your success code, all of the very detailed things I teach. Today is the most important thing, is that as you learn all these skills, it'll help you with the blindness. Every single skill you learn, you'll see clearer and clearer and clearer. But if you don't develop the talent, the number one skill in the world, which is to keep hitting the piñata and to stick around until the candy comes out, because here's the deal. Someone's gonna get the candy in life. There's always candy in life. That piñata eventually always breaks down. Do you want to be the person who was there in the beginning, hitting as hard as you could and sacrifice it, and maybe hurting the people around you, and never get the candy? Or are you going to get something for your pain? Are you going to get something for your effort? Are you going to get something for this sacrifice you're making? You got to get something for this pain. You got to stick in the game until the candy comes out, and then we all get to celebrate.
Come on now. That's got to get you excited this morning, yes? That motivates you a little bit this morning? Okay, let's say, what'd you hear? You can type it in the chat box, or you can come off mute, raise your hand. What's something that you heard? What's something that you wrote down? Ashley Hart wrote down, let's go get that candy. Who's in for some of that? Okay, I think we need a t-shirt for the Monday morning call. Let's go get the candy. Okay, did you hear what he said? It's available to everybody. It's who's going to get it. David, what'd you write down, sir?
Don't feel like you're the piñata, because you're not. Never quit and keep hitting that piñata. It'll all come out in the end.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. How many of you today, maybe you feel like the piñata? Like, hey, I'm getting beat around over here, coach. All right. Hey, how about this morning, Monday morning, December 11th, we trade places with the piñata. Okay. Let's stop being the piñata and let's start going after it. Okay. Let's see. Brandon over here said, don't quit, stay present. The best ability. I love that, Catherine. He said the best ability is what? Availability. He's saying that everything that you desire, everything that you want is available to you. And that is the best ability that you have, which is availability, right? Angela put, are you going to get something for your pain? Right? Hey, let me ask you a question. Are you going to make sure your pain's worth it? Okay. If we walk away, if we quit, then we didn't make sure that the pain was worth it. Are you going to make sure that the pain's worth it? And let me remind you, right? John Maxwell says anything worthwhile is what? Uphill. Anything worthwhile is going to have pain associated with it. That's the way that we get there. Keep pounding the piñata of life, career, and body. Best ability we have is the availability. Cherie, what do you got?
So many times, Dusty, good morning, we think that the candy is not for us, or that the candy is going to stop flowing. And when we understand that there's enough for everyone, then we can then we can continue to pound and understand that there's candy for all of us with our names on it. So that's what I got.
Right. Yeah, come on now. Hey, here's my question.
Dusty, I have one.
Yeah, go for it.
When I started in the business 4.5 years ago, I was told that I got in too late and that there were already too many agents and that I would never be successful. And I'm here to tell you that that is not true. And so there is always more candy.
Yes, there is. Hey, and that's coming from Ashley Hart over there. Just gave birth to her fourth beautiful baby, Eliana. And she's not surviving in this market. She's thriving. Am I right, Ashley?
Yes, sir. It's going great.
Yeah, 100%, right? Amber, go for it. Good to see you. Go for it, Amber.
Hi, Amber Honeycutt. One thing I love about this analogy is that when you think about kids hitting a piñata, they watch the other kids hit. So they can see what people are doing right. And I love that you can use that in real estate as well. That you're able to watch other people and follow their lead. And when you start seeing the points that are weakest, you know where to hit the candy for it to fall out.
That's right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, and I love it. Cherie said that the candy's for all of us. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Here's my question to you today. Do you believe that? I think you believe it's for everybody else. I think we believe that. I think we all have this heart for other people intrinsically, but I think somewhere along the way, we stopped thinking that the candy was for us. Yes or no? I think we started thinking it was for everybody else. Here's the other thing I want you to notice that he said. He said, when the candy comes out, he said, it's not only yours, it's for what? The people around you, right? It's for my bride. It's for my kids, right? It's for the people around us. So it's not just about you and I. Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you think they're worth it? Do you think the people around you are worth it? If nothing else, let's let that be our driver today. But the point of today's call is that you and I start to understand that you and I are worth it, and we don't let our limiting beliefs hold us back. What did he say? He said, literally, the greatest habit today is what? People quitting. He said it's the greatest habit we have. Didn't we talk about habits last week? Right? We talked about the habits that are going to lead us to success. And he said the biggest habit that our world has right now is a habit of quitting. Can I tell you that I think we've stepped into a culture of that? Hey, it's not going the way that I want to. I'll just quit. I'll go do something else. It's not happening as fast as I desire for it to. I'll just quit. I'll just do something else. Okay. It doesn't feel like I thought it would feel. I'll just quit. I'll do something else. Or maybe it's, hey, I'm going to quit and do something else because I don't think I'm ever going to get there. Okay. I want you to write down a couple things right now. Okay. I want you to write this down. Sometimes we are succeeding so slowly we think we're failing. Okay. I want you to write that down. Sometimes we're succeeding so slowly we think we're failing. We're in the middle of the pain. We've been beating the pinata forever. Okay. And I don't see any candy, coach. All right. Success is over time, right? It's the habits we build, like we talked about last week. It's sequential. It's not immediate. All right. And I also want you to write this down. Just because it's not working doesn't mean it's not working. Just because it's not working doesn't mean it's not working. Let's not let the limiting beliefs in our mind lead the way for us. Okay. Now let's talk for a couple of minutes real quick, team, about where do limiting beliefs come from? I want to hear from you. Where do you think they come from? Type it over in the chat box, come off mute. Where do limiting beliefs come from in our mind and in our heart? Where do they come from? No wrong answer. Okay.
Our families.
The experience of others, previous hurts, culture, past experiences, community. There we go. Someone else, comparison, the enemy, fear of failure, self-preservation, family. There's a good one. Okay. False expectations appearing real. It's a great way to put it. The media, your current circumstances, all of these are places where limiting beliefs come from, right? Can I tell you that almost everything you just wrote down there isn't from you? I want look over in the chat box. All of those things that you wrote down aren't even the things that are yours to own. Are you guys tracking with me on that?
That's cool, hon. You hear that?
Mhm.
Are you with me? Like they're not even yours to own. So many of us are
Limiting
walking
beliefs.
around. So many of us are walking around with limiting beliefs that aren't even ours to begin with. Okay, I want you to write that down. Many of you are walking around with a limiting belief that's not even yours to begin with. Somebody or something, okay, put a limiting belief on you and you adopted it. You made it your own and it was never yours to begin with. Okay, I want you to watch one more quick clip from Ed Milet here, and then we're going to dive in a little bit more. Here we go.
When you get to a particular place, it's never as good as you think it is. If you're really being honest, you get there and you go, I thought I'd feel better. I thought everything would be better now. I thought I'd have no problems. I thought I'd wake up every day like with bubble gums and rainbows, and it's not what you think it is. The place you're getting to isn't really what you want. It's how you think it would make you feel to get there. But you thinking it's that far away keeps it there. Stop thinking it's so freaking far from you, because it's a lie you're telling yourself that is eroding your time here on this planet. What if you believed you were one conversation, one meeting, one person, one emotion away from it? What if you believed that, and all of a sudden you're in a different life, in the beginning of a new life, in the beginning of a new time in your life? It's not as far away. And if I'm right about that, you're a lot closer than you think you are, and you should have some optimism because of that. When you get to a...
All right, think about that. Think about what he just said, right? It's our limiting beliefs that's telling us that it's too far away, right? That we can't even get there. Maybe your limiting belief came from somewhere else or came from someone else. I wrote down a few things. I wrote down that our limiting beliefs come from our own self-doubt. Would you agree with that? Our own self-doubt. And maybe that self-doubt comes from past failures. All right? I've told you this before, but I want to tell you this again. Failure is an event, not a person. Everybody write it down. If you don't hear anything else today, hear that, please. Failure is an event, not a person. Okay? Everybody hear me. You are not a failure. Are you going to fail? Yes. There's going to be events for the rest of our lives where we fail. Okay? It's an event. It's not a person. It does not predict the next thing that happens, the future of you, right? I mean, Ed Mylett saying it right there. This is not as far away as you think it is. And you thinking it's so far away is what actually keeps us from getting there. We quit before we get to the end, right? We have our own self-doubt. Other thing I wrote down was just outside circumstances. Okay? Everybody know this and write it down. You and I don't control all our circumstances. We never have. We never will. Okay? Let me tell you what we do control. We control how we respond to the circumstances. I draw the circle around Dusty, and I make the choice inside of it, right? This is why we teach our kids, you make the choice, and the choice makes you. This is our choice. Okay? This is our choice. It's not based, your success or lack thereof is not based on a circumstance. It's based on you. Now, I'm not saying bad things don't happen, okay? I'm telling you they do and they will, all right? I'm asking, how do we step forward in the middle of those? Here's another one I wrote down. I think a lot of times our limiting belief just comes from being tired. Anybody? You just get tired. Like, hey, I get tired of hitting a piñata. Anybody feel like that? Right? Okay. We get tired. And so in our tired, here's what I want you to know. You and I don't operate 100% when we're tired, do we? I think a lot of people quit, like Ed Mylett talked about, because they just get tired. This is why, by the way, we ask you to start your day every single day in gratitude and in your journal, because the world we live in is going to beat you down and make you tired. And so we have to start by setting our mind and setting our intentions and setting our hearts in the direction that we desire to go, so that when those things come, I'm already prepared for them in my mind and in my heart. You tracking with me on this? Okay. Here's another place they come, and you're very familiar with it. It's called other people. Other people, right? I want you to think right now of maybe a limiting belief that you have that is not yours to begin with. That somebody else put it on you. Okay, that somebody else put it on you and you started to adopt that. Just think of one thing right now. Okay, I can tell you, and I've probably shared this with you before. I remember my mom told me when I was 10 years old that Oglesby's just don't make money. That's not, we're not supposed to make money. Okay. At 10 years old. Now, she didn't say it like it wasn't a bad thing, she said. She wasn't trying to do anything, but I heard that and I adopted that. And I carried that with me into being an adult. So much so that when I got my first commission check as a real estate agent, I sat in my car and cried because I felt guilty that I made that much money at one time. I knew what my dad had made in a year, and I felt guilty. Now, everybody hear me. It is not my mom's fault that I felt that way. I chose to adopt that. Are you with me? So I have done what David Fine said earlier, and I've redefined that because I can tell you today, Oglesby's make money. Okay? I'm making sure I say that loud enough for my kids to hear it. Okay? Right? And I'm not saying it's all about money. I'm just saying that was a limiting belief that I had that just wasn't mine to begin with. Okay? So what are you carrying around that's slowing you down that doesn't belong to you to begin with? Okay? There's a scripture that says this, and I believe a lot of it is about limiting beliefs and the choices that we made. It says this. Everybody write it down. It says, throw off everything that hinders you. Throw off everything that hinders you. Rhett Campbell, we've talked about this, right? I want you to write down right now, what are some things that are hindering you? What are some thoughts that are hindering you? What are some choices or some actions that are hindering you? And everybody hear me. I'm not talking about from the past. Those are gone. You with me? That's over. So we're not going to go and grab those and bring them back here in the present. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about right now, today. What are you hanging on to that you need to let go of and throw off? You with me? Everybody do this with me. I want you to make a fist as tight as you can. You can do it with either hand. If you're writing with one, go ahead and make it as tight as you can. There you go. Keep holding it while you're writing all this stuff. Maybe it's your non-dominant hand. I want you to make it as tight as you can, like literally like you're squeezing, like you can feel the blood. You feel it? Feel the blood? Got it? How long you think you can hang on like this? Would this get old after a while? Gonna get old after a while. It's not tough in the beginning. It's gonna get old after a while. Just keep holding on to it. Tight as you can. Okay, now I want you to open it up. How did that feel when you opened up? Which one felt better? This one or this one? Okay, this is what I mean by throw off everything that hinders you. I think a lot of us on the call today, what I find as I travel all over the country and coach is people walk into rooms like this. You with me? Man, they're holding on to failure. They're holding on to doubt. They're holding on to limiting beliefs that somebody else put on them. They're holding on to tired. They're holding on to angry. They're holding on to frustrated. They're holding on to worry. And can I tell you that this is the first step in you being able to get to where you want to go? Okay? Like literally saying out loud, like, hey, I let this go. Do you know how much health there is in I let this go? I'm going to take what's hindering me and I'm going to throw it off so that I can begin to run in freedom. Come on now. Right? So many of us are having trouble running because we're so weighed down with all the limiting beliefs, all the things that are holding us back. Okay, you tracking with me? Throw off everything that hinders us. All right, here we go. Let's do this here as we've got a little bit of time left. Each and every single one. So let me ask you this first. How many of you on the call know that you have limiting beliefs? Raise your hand. Sure. There you go. Okay, so if you did not raise your hand, I just want you to know that is your first limiting belief, okay? The fact that you think you ain't got one means you probably got a little bit of ego that's holding you back, okay? All right? Every single one of us have limited beliefs. Maybe they're deep-rooted. Maybe they're deep-rooted and it's something you've carried with you for 20 years. Maybe it's just a daily one, okay? Maybe it's based on circumstance, a failure. Maybe it's based on you. Whatever it is, each and every single one of us have limited beliefs. Here's what I want you to do right now. I'm going to ask you right now, would you write down some of the limiting beliefs that you know you have right now. They can be around your life. They can be around your business. They can be in a relationship that you have. I want you to be very honest with yourself, okay? Because remember, honesty is the fertile soil where what? Where we grow. If I'm ever going to get to better, I got to get to different. And if I'm ever going to get to different, I got to get to honest. So I want you to be real honest with yourself, and I want you to write down what are those little thoughts in your head that are holding you back and keeping you from where you want to go. I want you to write them down. You can put some in the chat box if you'd like to. But I want to make sure that you really write that. If you're capable, like if you're not driving or something and you can write something down right now, I want you to write down a limiting belief that you have right now that you're carrying that's hindering you and holding you back. Take a minute or so. There we go. Some of you put over there. Fear of success. How many of you have that one? How many of you, what's holding you back and hindering you is a limiting belief of a fear of success? What am I going to do when that happens? I don't know how to grow that big. That's going to cause problems in my life that I don't want, right? So we start, everybody hear me. You start self-sabotaging you, okay, in a fear of success. Aziz wrote, others can do the job better. How many of you feel that way? There's other people that can do it better than me. I don't deserve it. They can do it better than me. Okay. Success is lonely. That's a good one. Hey, can I tell you one reason success is a little bit lonely? Did you hear what Milet said earlier? He said it's because the further you get, the more people have quit. Okay. How about, yeah, how many of you feel like maybe you're going to be an imposter, you're going to be fake? Okay. Rejection, fear, not smart enough. Brittany Huffsaler said, I'm not smart enough. Hope Brazel, I love this. Hope Brazel put, I have the wrong disc score. Do you know how many people tell you can or can't do something because of what that little piece of paper says? Okay. I remember being in a job interview one time and they said, well, you just don't line up on paper. And I said, well, then I don't need to be here to begin with because you already don't believe in me. Right? Like, if you think a piece of paper defines you, then that is a limiting belief. You tracking with me? A piece of paper does not define you. Running out of time to complete my assignment. Okay, you tracking with me on this? Now, here's what I want to tell you. So, here's what I want us to do with this. So you just wrote down a limiting belief, or some of you are like, hey, coach, I had to pull out a whole nother piece of paper. I got a whole book just for my limiting beliefs over here, all right? You just wrote down something that is holding you back, something that's hindering you, right? From everything that is out there for you, okay? What did MLS say? The greatest ability is availability. It's out there for you, but something's holding you back. Here's what we're going to do in the next few minutes. I'm going to teach you how to reframe those thoughts, okay? Every one of us are going to have limiting beliefs come into our mind each and every single day, okay? We've talked about this before. You and I can't control the first thought necessarily, but we can do what? I can control the second one. So we're going to teach you today as we finish up the call, how do you do that? We're going to teach you how to hold that thought captive, to grab it, and then reframe it into something that's going to take you forward. We're going to take your negative thought, your hindering thought, and we're going to turn it into something that's going to drive you forward today. Would that be helpful for you today? Yes? Okay. Let me tell you how I've learned how to do this, and the best example I got for you. So as we started to come out of the pandemic, all right, what happened is in our house is that meant that my bride now got to go shopping again. Okay. I don't know if that happened at y'all's house, but there was like a 2-year period, you know, mama couldn't just go out there and go shopping. So the doors open and my bride was like, it is shopping day, right? And so she went shopping and she came home that particular day. This was so cool, man. and she had bought me something. It wasn't my birthday. It wasn't Father's Day. Okay. It was just a day. And what she bought me was a frame at Hobby Lobby that says, behind every good kid is a great dad. Okay, look, it's right here on my desk. I've had it with me the whole time. Behind every good kid is a great dad. And she gave that to me. She called me downstairs. She said, babe, come downstairs. I got something for you. And I was like, all right, come on. It's not even my birthday. So I went down there and Mama gives me this, man. And it stirred my heart. If you know anything about me, man, being a dad is just the coolest gift God ever gave me, man, next to my bride. All right. And so I took it, and I remember I was busy that day because we were doing a lot of Zoom stuff, right? Like I was on team meetings, right? And I took that picture frame, I put it on my desk, okay? And I'm just going to give you full disclosure here, all right? About a year later, I was studying in my office at my desk to go out and coach bold, and I was studying on limiting beliefs that we're talking about today. And I'm talking about, I'm thinking in my mind, like, how do I help everybody understand what I mean by reframe? Like, what does that look like? And I look over and I see my fancy little thing my bride gave me that says, behind every good kid is a great dad. And I realize, Chris Baker, that the kids in the frame are not my kids. Okay. Okay. Now let me explain real quick what I mean by that. You ever been to Hobby Lobby and bought a frame? And they have in the frame the fake family, you know what I'm talking about? Like everybody looks all perfect and, you know, that everybody's smiling, which we all know when you go take family pictures. We do this to ourselves every year. We take family pictures every year. And we should really we should really record family pictures instead of take them, because it is mass chaos taking family pictures, right? It is crazy town taking family pictures at the Osby house, right? Like what you see is all of us standing there like, yes, look at us. What you don't see is my son poking my daughter in her back in the middle of the picture and her screaming, don't touch me. And my son dying laughing and trying to figure out how to smile. Brother smiles like he's in pain. Okay. Like it's epic. My point is, what I saw in the picture was not real. A lot of times what we see in the picture is not real. Okay, you tracking with me? It's not the full story. All right. Now, so literally, I'm up in my office that day. I realized that the kids in the frame are not my kids. So I run downstairs to Mama, and I'm like, Mama, I need a picture. Okay, I need a picture of my own children in my frame because this is just not right. All right, I don't even know who these people are, and they've been sitting on my desk for a year. So Mama went and got my picture. So now that is a picture, which, by the way, Mama, I know you're on the call. We need to update this bad boy. I think our son is like 1.5 feet taller, and our daughter getting more beautiful by the day. Our son getting beautiful too, I'm just saying. Okay, so my point is simply this. Everybody hear me, okay? You with me? You get to pick the frame. Yes or no? This is your life. You get to pick the frame. Mama went and picked the frame that she wanted. There was a purpose in the frame. She didn't get some random frame. She got a frame specifically for me. And here's what I want you to know. You get to pick a frame that is specifically for you. If you don't like the frame, you need to pick another one. You tracking with me on this? And here's the second thing I want you to notice about what I'm telling you. You get to pick the picture that's in the frame. If you don't like your picture today, you get to change it. You with me? Like, here's what I did in my picture frame. I took everything that was fake in that photo and I threw it out. What did we just talk about? Throw off what? Throw off everything that hinders me. Like, hey, this is not the picture that I desire. This picture is not real. How many of you are walking around, you got a fake picture? It's not even real. Like you're being and doing because other people are telling you to. It's not even your dream. You with me? Like, you get to pick the picture, you get to pick the frame, and if you don't like it today, you can adjust the whole thing. Are you guys tracking with me on this? All right. And I don't know what that looks like for you. I do know this. It will not happen if you don't go do it. Okay. Like, it won't happen if you don't go do it. You are, okay, everybody hear me. You are responsible for the frames of your life, not somebody else. Okay. You are responsible for the pictures of your life, not somebody else. And today you get the opportunity to change your frame and change your picture. That's removing your limiting beliefs. Okay. And I want to remind you, like I did at the beginning of the call. Okay. You are more than a conqueror. This is your life. You define it. You get to pick the frame. You get to pick the pictures. Here's what we're going to do as we wrap up the call. Okay. We're gonna journal at the end. Here's what I want you to do in your journal. I want you to take everything that you just wrote down, take each one of those, and I want you to reframe that thought. Hold the thought captive, write it down, and now we're going to reframe it. Make that negative thought turn into a positive thought that's going to take you forward, okay? I'm going to play a song. You guys journal as we do this. Write your I am statements. Take that negative thought that you had, that limiting belief, and reframe it, because you get to choose it, and make it work for you today, okay? Here we go.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. In green pastures he makes me lie down. He restores my soul and leads me on for his name. For his great name. Surely goodness, surely mercy, right beside me, oh my days, and I will dwell in your house forever, and bless your holy name. You prepare a table right before me, in the presence of my enemies. Though the arrow flies and the terror of night is at my door, I'll trust you, Lord. Surely goodness, surely mercy, right beside me, all my days, and I will dwell in your house forever,
Hey, let's hear from one or two of you. And here's what I want to ask you to do real simply. I want you to read off what your limiting belief was, and I want you then to read how you reframed it, and you're going to make it work for you today. Okay. Let's hear from a couple of you. Just read what it was, and then how you reframed it. Anybody? You got to put your digital hand up so I can see you. Cherie, go for it. What was your limiting belief and how did you reframe it?
Success is lonely,
Mm-hmm.
was what my limiting belief was. And based on how you helped me to reframe, I said, I am successful and I get to surround myself with like-minded people who live purposefully.
Yeah. Come on, Cherie. Hey, everybody look at this call. Like we got like 100+ people on this call. Is this lonely? I don't feel lonely. You with me? Okay. I think that loneliness piece can be a choice. I love that. Took the limiting belief and then reframed it. Somebody else want to share what's your limiting belief you wrote down and then how did you reframe it? Anybody? One more.
I'll go, Dusty.
Go for it.
So my limiting belief is that I put my mom's house on the market. I staged it. I did everything. And my limiting belief is that they think I can't sell it or they don't want. So my belief now is they know I'm gonna sell it and they know I'm gonna move her closer to me. And that's what their problem is.
There you go. Hey, and you said that really well. Whose problem is it?
Their problem.
Ah, yeah. There we go. There we go. I love it. One more. Brittany, go for it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to say I put on there that I think that I'm not smart enough. I've only been in real estate for less than 2 years, so I just need to give myself time and realize that I have a lot of stuff to learn. So that's all.
Hey, and Brittany, can I tell you, you are way smart enough. Way smart enough. Okay. Super proud of you for being honest to write that down and go, hey, I can do this. Right. It's time on task, overtime done consistently. Time on task, overtime done consistently. I love it. And I love the word you put over there, Cherie, grace, right? We all need it. Am I right? We all need it. Okay. Christy Perry wrote, I'm afraid of making mistakes. And then she reframed it into mistakes are how I learn and grow. Come on now. How many of you are where you are today because you learned from them? She also put, I'm not good at this. And she just changed it to, hey, what can I learn to get better? All right. So is this helpful to you today? Yes? Okay. Here's what I want to help you this week to do. As you have those limiting thoughts this week, I'm going to ask you to write them down, put them on paper, and then make the choice to reframe them. Turn them into an affirmation that works for you. And here's the main thing I want you to ask 2 questions when these limiting beliefs come into your mind. Here's what they are. Number 1, is it yours? Is it your limiting belief, or is it something that somebody put on you and you adopted it? The second thing I want you to ask yourself is it 100% true? Is it 100% true? And I think what you'll find is the answer is it's not 100% true. You with me on this? Okay. Couple quick things before we go today. Real important. Number 1, we have an awesome contest going on right now over on the Define page. Okay. Where if you get people to sign up for the Define page and you share it, you could win a $250 gift card right here before Christmas. Come on now. All right. You could win a one-on-one coaching call with myself and my bride. All right. Which means my bride's a part of it, means it's going to be real, real good. Okay. Or you can win a free ticket to Define 24 that's coming up January 8th through the 12th. All right. So you can go to that for free. Okay. For free. All right. So make sure you go to the page today, Make sure you start inviting all of your friends. We want to keep ramping that up to as many as we can. We're almost at 1,000 people registered for this call that are listening to it each and every single week, either live here or live on Facebook, or they are watching it later. Final thing is this: next week will be our last call for this year, because we've got Christmas Day and then New Year's Day. And next week's going to be fun. Are you ready? We're going to ask you to show up in a Christmas sweater. It can be a pretty one or an ugly one, or a onesie. I myself will be in a Santa onesie. I just want you to know that, okay? I might actually show up as an elf. I don't know yet, but I might actually show up as an elf, which is not difficult for me. I just have to put the costume on because I already look like an elf. So we're going to have a lot of fun next week. Get on here with us. I love you. Bless you. Make sure that if you haven't registered yet for Define 24, we're already at like 100 folks. Keep coming in. Come on. Come on. Keep coming in. We want to set the tone for 2024 as we come back. Okay. So next week, final call. I love you. Bless you. God bless you. If you need anything, let us know. Take care. Remove your limiting beliefs. Let's go. Have a great week. Have a great week. Yes, Darren. Happy Chanukah. Bless you, brother. Bless you guys. Have a great week. Take care.